Welcome everyone to BlockDesk News. This is the investment channel where we find opportunities that nobody really talks about. And we don't just talk about crypto, we talk about stocks, we talk about AI, and we all even talk about trading cards. And every week we give you a minimum of 4 picks that we are investing in so you can invest with us, and then we give you updates each week how it goes. So there's a lot going on, but I'm sure a lot of people are angry. I've been in groups and I'm seeing people and their portfolios, they're basically dying. But don't worry, we've got opportunities to make money. There is a war going on that just doesn't stop. Oil is getting squeezed like in the 1900s. The chip world lost $1 trillion this week and crypto is bleeding. But here's the thing, while everybody else is panicking, I'm sitting here and I'm writing a shopping list for myself. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with all of you. So I'm not going to just read you the news tonight. What I'm going to do is tell you what I actually think and where the smart money is quietly moving. We got 6 picks for you today, not just 4, 6 picks. Some risky ones, some not. But first, let's go around the world. And by the way, if you haven't followed us, we are live on Binance Square now. I've got a video coming up with a gift box as well. So drop off a follow. We've only been here for a couple of weeks, but we are live now. So yeah, it's good. We share articles, we share news updates, we share short videos. So definitely worth checking out if you haven't. But let's start with what's happening out there basically, because it's all connected with money, right? At the end of the day, war is money. So in the Middle East, here's where we are basically. On Wednesday, the US and Iran signed a peace deal, which is big news, right? Everyone's like, hurrah, but I won't believe it until I see it. And the market did like it. The market did go up when the peace deal was signed on Wednesday. But let's be honest for a second. Those are lives. They're not just headlines. This is a real issue around the world. And as an investor, here's my take. They signed the peace deal on Wednesday and fighting again on Thursday began, right? That's not peace. That's just a break. And it seems like the market is so manipulated. It's ridiculous. It's literally blowing my mind. So look, right now the market is acting like the war is over, but I don't buy it and nobody else does, right? Let's be honest. And oil prices, they're getting squeezed. Like everybody knows about the Strait of Hormuz. If you don't, it's a narrow stretch basically that's next to Iran. It's about 1/5 of the world's oil passes through it, right? And right now, traffic is down to almost around 5% of its normal traffic, right? So the amount of oil that's able to pass around the world is at its minimum. So everyone's staring at Bitcoin and tech stocks, but the biggest move right now might be a single barrel of oil. And I know everybody knows this, so I'm not going to give you oil as the pick tonight, invest in oil stocks. No. But as the war flares up again, and if this continues, defense companies are going to be the first companies I'm going to be looking at. Oil investment and stocks are going to be what I'm going to be looking at. And on top of all of that, Trump is openly threatening to hit Iran again, which is ridiculous, right? Israel says it's not done in Lebanon, right? So there's IDF chief says goal in Lebanon, clear and unchanged, defending the north, right? And the Russia-Ukraine war is still going on in the background. I'm not sure if you guys still remember, but there's another war going on between Russia and Ukraine. There's Iran and the rest of the world, by what people are saying, right? I guess China is on Iran's side. So this is my take personally. This is a power keg. So don't be surprised by big swings in the market until October, especially in the crypto market, because Bitcoin's last sort of... Everybody, like the general consensus is October is going to be the bottom for Bitcoin. That's when you should be looking at crypto. So expect a lot of volatility until then. And talking about volatility, what did I tell you? What did I tell you last week? Don't buy SpaceX stock. So SpaceX just did the biggest stock and launch in history, and we all know this. We talk about this, and for a number worth more than Amazon, right? It's got value. It's valued more than Amazon, but it doesn't make as much money as Amazon. So it's obviously inflated pricing, right? And for a moment, it was worth more than Amazon, and it's dropped 24% in 3 days. It only went public in June the 12th, right? It's not even been a couple of weeks yet. So here's my personal take. People bought SpaceX because it was exciting, right? The hype, the FOMO. What if it goes up? What if this happens? But let's be honest, that's not going to happen. And I told you this because the amount of SpaceX stocks that people got for free, or there's investors that got them before, there's a lot of dumping going on. And in August of this year, there's going to be another unlock of SpaceX stocks, which is around 24%. So there's going to be the most biggest unlock, I think, in the whole cycle of SpaceX in August. So if you're buying SpaceX stocks now, be careful about August. You're most likely not going to see a pump until then. The price will drop again when that release happens. So the smart move is very different to what people think. You don't buy the rocket, right? You buy the companies that build the rocket. I'll give you one of these stock sections, so stick around, right? And in the same week, the chip stocks got hammered, about $1.4 trillion in value gone. Nvidia dropped 6% in a day. Broadcom dropped even more. And why Broadcom? I'm sure a lot of you are asking, because Broadcom was one of my top picks in season 1, which was a month ago or so. And we did really well on it because of the AI sector, right? But Broadcom said it expected $16 billion in AI chip sales. Wall Street wanted 17, so they panicked. That $1 billion literally destroyed the stock. So there's been a big sell-off with AI, and everybody's like, is the AI bubble really popping right now? Look, I don't think so. AI companies are going to progress. They're going to develop. They're going to go into different sectors. I know there's an AI company, I forgot the name of it, but they're doing like health, and they're doing like human scanning with water and AI. They're doing some crazy things at the moment. So let that sink in. $16 billion is basically a disappointment for Wall Street. That's crazy. And when the market overreacts like that, that's when basically we go shopping, right? So when you're seeing these dumps, that's when you go shopping. So let's look at the block. Last week, the Fed met, and they decided to keep interest rates where they are, which is really what we don't want, right? And this is what people were worried about. People were worried that interest rates are going to, well, basically they're going to stay stagnant and they're not going to be cut. And that's exactly what happened. And most people are predicting, just like I was saying, that it's actually going to happen in 2027. Only next year the Fed is going to cut rates. So they decided to keep the interest rates the same, and they quietly dropped any talks of cutting them. So they're not even talking about cutting them anymore. And here's why it matters in plain English. High interest rates make safe stuff like savings more attractive. So people pull money out of risky stuff like crypto or even potentially stocks, right? And they add, and to add into all of this, the war pushing up oil prices, you've got a nervous investor. That's why crypto is falling down. Of course, alongside a lot of other things. I know Michael Saylor, just while I was making this episode, I believe he sold like 2,000 Bitcoin. He's really playing with the price. He's seeing how low it can go. I did say to you 2 weeks ago, you can look at my clips before, that it's going to be $59,000 as Bitcoin's bottom. That's what it seems like. And I'll talk about this why in the crypto segment. So let me just finish about this. So last week's pick review, we did have a couple of picks. I don't have them up on the screen now, so we will discuss them in the following week. But moving into the crypto, so let's look at the Bitcoin and what's going on at the moment, right? So Bitcoin is sitting At 59,000. This is exactly the bottom I told you 3 weeks ago that we are going to hit. So now everybody's saying just buy Bitcoin, right? And that's boring. It's not really helpful. Let's be honest. Yes, Bitcoin is at its really strong support level. You can even see on these cheap charts. Here is a clear support level, right? 59,000 is a strong support. Michael Saylor sold his Bitcoin. That's what we're seeing at the moment, right? So think of these floors. I'm going to give you the floor numbers. 62,460 is an important long-term line. The next floor is 60,000. Then 59,600 is the strongest floor. If it falls below that, then, well, it's not going to be looking good, all right? I think is the chances are it's going to follow a little bit below that. It's going to go maybe close to 58,000 and it's going to rebound. I think Bitcoin going down lower is very, very unlikely. Let's be honest. So here's the plan. Simple and clear. You want to buy Bitcoin at 59,600 to the 60,800 zone. If Bitcoin climbs back above 62,460, that's a good sign, and I would add more and start buying more, because after that, the resistance level has been broken after the floor has been confirmed. So buying between 59,000 and 600, see, it's going up as I speak. Everybody's listening to what I'm saying. This is a great level to be buying. So look, Bitcoin is a top pick for me just based on the support level that it's just not dropping, right? It's not going below that 50, 59, 58,000 mark, right? But I want to also give you a riskier play, and I've made this my top pick, and this is the second time I'm gonna make the Stellar XLM my top pick. Stellar is a crypto project, as many of you know, is building something really clever. They're upgrading their network to protect against future quantum computers. There are a lot of cryptocurrencies which are doing that. For example, ZK Cash, they have proposed to do that. But XLM is actively upgrading for quantum computers and from quantum hacking. Ethereum is also focusing, the Ethereum Foundation is focusing on this. And Bitcoin, well, it's really hard, to change Bitcoin. People are considering blocking Satoshi's address or burning his coins and passing a vote on that, but only time will tell. But XLM is doing this right now, and there's a big vote to approve on July the 8th. So this is one of the reasons I'm picking, because on July the 8th, if this vote goes through, which is very likely because people are scared of quantum computing and it hitting crypto, on July the 8th, you're going to see XLM pump if this passes. So this is my take. Every crypto is going to face this. What's going on with quantum computers, right? And Stellar is building the answer early, and the vote is happening on the 8th of July. So it's like you buy the news and you sell the hype. So this is the news, right? Sorry, you buy the hype, you sell the news. So whichever my brain's fuddled, but you buy it now and you sell it when it gets approved, basically, right? That's when it's gonna pump. So it's also getting attention from big finance. We discussed this before. A lot of stocks are going to be using the XLM blockchain for transacting stocks, for buying and selling. So it's about, let's have a look at the price of Stellar. It's about 17 cents right now, and the vote is going to be happening on July the 8th. So, guys, really good trade, and it's a medium-term trade where it's going to be maybe like a couple weeks. So this is going to be a more riskier choice, but definitely one worth checking out. Let's move into the AI sector, because obviously in AI, there's a lot going on with the Anthropic, OpenAI. The big IPOs are coming. I'm not a fan also. I told everybody don't buy SpaceX. So for those of you who listen, well done to you. And Anthropic is definitely over-evaluated. Let's talk about the chip crash. I spoke about this earlier because it created an opportunity. So this week, Broadcom revealed their new AI chip. The big deal, and this is a big deal, why they built it. OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT. So here's why it matters in plain terms. There are two kinds of AI chips. There's general AI chips like Nvidia makes, and custom ones built for one specific job, cheaper to run and more efficient. So Nvidia builds AI chips for everybody, right? But there's companies which build them custom for other AI companies, or any company in reality who wants to be using AI. And Broadcom is the company they go to for that. That's why it was one of my best performing stocks in season 1. So think about this. The market just dumped Broadcom in a panic just because of this, which isn't really a big deal. And right now is building chips for OpenAI. That's literally backwards. The market is just reacting because everybody's in the panic of what's going on. So this is my pick again. I'm going to pick Broadcom once again. Broadcom stocks. $383 as of today. Let's have a look at how the charts were performing. See, yes, it had a pretty decent dive. And as you can see, obviously, we don't have as an advanced chart, but as you can see, it is bouncing back. And this is probably a good entry point for everybody to really consider looking at. So Broadcom has been one of my best performing stocks. They are making custom chips for OpenAI. Guys, don't understand how big that is. These chips are going to be in high demand. They're going to have continuous business, and their reports, their quarterly reports, are going to be going up year on year. And that will increase the stock price. It's just a no-brainer. Unless OpenAI dies for some reason, then this is the place, this is the stock pick of the week, and it's just as simple as that. And let's look at some other stocks. There's two stock picks tonight alongside that, because obviously this was season 1. I do want to give you some unique stock picks which you've never even thought about looking at. So this is my rule. This is how I pick stuff. I won't give you a boring giant stock like SpaceX. I want the companies to make money every single time SpaceX wins a deal. So that's what we look at. And SpaceX is winning a lot right now. They just landed a $4.16 billion military deal. And their Starlink internet is signing up airlines, American, Singapore, and more. So here's my take. Don't chase SpaceX stocks after a 24% drop and an unlock happening in August. What you want to see is buying these smaller companies that supply SpaceX for its contracts, right? So the company I'm talking about, so as you can see here, SpaceX Starlink nabs American Airlines contract, another win for its IPO, right? So this company is basically buying, so they're buying from SpaceX. So this isn't a company you want to invest in. But I did find something interesting for all of you guys to invest in, and that's ST Microelectronics. This company makes the antenna chips inside every Starlink dish. This is why we're smart here. This is why we're smart, because look at this dip and look. It reached an all-time high within the day, and it's an all-time high right now. So obviously, if you're a small investor, you're going to wait for a dip. But they make, as I said, antenna chips inside every Starlink dish. They shipped over 5 billion of them. More Starlink customers means more chips. As I just showed you, SpaceX got this contract with American Airlines. They're going to need more of these Starlinks, and they're going to need more of these antennas, right? It's simple. This is how you invest, right? And these companies, then their market cap isn't as big, so the percentage that you can make on it is much bigger. And here's the bonus. The stock dropped about 9% today. in the chip sell-off. So you're buying a real SpaceX supplier at a discount. So this is my basically top risky pick, because obviously these market caps aren't as big, and SpaceX can replace these companies as their chosen companies. They can find new ones. But at the moment, this is who supplies them. There's no reason they should stop because they've been doing such a good job. So it's very clear that this is a good investment opportunity, basically. It was around $72. I think when I checked back earlier today, it's been climbing quite a lot. So it's changing a lot. It's very volatile. So if you like those risky plays, this is it for you. And I also got a different pick for you. It's Philtronic, the SpaceX supplier everybody suddenly loves. And this is what, like, a lot of big channels won't tell you about this because they're too scared. Listen, we're not here to be scared. If we lose, we lose. But we pick risky picks and we pick not risky picks. So Philtronics is a small UK company, and they make special parts for Starlink satellites. Here's the wild part. 83% of sales come from SpaceX. So SpaceX likes them so much, it took an ownership stake in the company, and they just said profits are coming in better than expected. So their next report of profits is basically going to blow up. And look at the dip it's having right now. They got hit by the current dump in the market, but look at the point I'm making. It's a small company, and SpaceX bought a stake in the company because they supply so many parts in them. So the profits on the next meeting that they're gonna talk about are gonna be much higher than expected. Think about it. The bigger the customer wants to own a piece of you, that's a huge vote of confidence, basically. And and then the drop you're seeing now, this is a really good buy, in my opinion. And I have to be honest about the risk. Look, I'm not just going to be hype everything up, because this is the deep end. The stock went from a penny stock to about 3.77 pounds on SpaceX orders. Pounds is Great British pounds. It's probably around like $5. The bad, leaning 83% on one customer, is dangerous. So SpaceX is 83% of its customer, but SpaceX probably doesn't really have time to find new suppliers. If this supplier does perform well, which is a more risky take, their reports are going to be high, the stock will go up, you're going to make some great profit. So even though this is a high risk play, I would say this is one of the better high risk plays based on the information I just told you. So those are, like, we're changing things up in this channel every week. We're giving you risky investments, we're giving you not so risky investments also. And I think that's important, because at the end of the day, we all want to make some real good money, right? Me picking XLM only isn't really good. We want some more of these riskier plays. Now let's talk about the TCG market. I know a lot of you guys love the TCG market, and there's going to be a lot happening in October, August, September, November. The card market is gonna be going absolutely crazy. And what I do for trading cards, I look at every single game. I don't just look at Pokemon. I've checked One Piece, Dragon Ball Z, the Naruto game, actually. So for those of you who don't know, Naruto is obviously a big franchise, right? And Naruto released this. So this is Naruto Mythos. This was the first edition box, which got released recently, but I was lucky enough to grab one of these. But this is what's crazy. They have Naruto Bandai. This is coming out soon. The official Naruto Bandai game, TCG game, is coming out soon. Bandai TCG. That's what we need to look at. And guys, this is what you need to be looking at. If you're able to get this game, so it's coming July the 29th, which is next month. There's going to be a global release. Well, it's confirmed on July 29th, but I'm not really sure. If you look, you need to go and look at these pre-orders, because Bandai is what makes a great TCG game. These are going to be highly sought after. If you can pre-order these early, Well, basically, you're gonna be able to make some great profit. We did the same thing with a couple of these actually. Obviously, the Naruto one, we tripled our profits. This is the Bandai. This is gonna be much better quality. It's got original artwork. So if you are into, I guess, trading card and collectibles, and you want to make some more easy money than the markets now, because listen, this is why I add the segment. We're making more money on trading cards than we're making on crypto or stocks at the moment, right? Because of the volatility. So definitely do check that out. So here's what's happening tomorrow. On June 29th, Magic releases its first ever Marvel set. So this is what I want you guys to have a look at. This is really important actually. And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Give me a second, guys. So, yes, perfect. So, Marvel is releasing its Magic releases first ever Marvel set. Two huge fan bases coming together, basically. And the top cards everyone wants is the Mind Stone. So I already did this as my top pick in regards to the booster box. But I wanted to get a little bit more deeper inside how you can actually make some money by flipping cards when they're sold off raw. So there's 7 top cards. I'm going to paste it in the chat for all of you to check it out. If you haven't joined us, we're live on Binance Square every week. So I'll leave the description in the description down below. Definitely check us out because I share links on live investment opportunities for everybody. All you have to do is follow, and then you can basically comment and ask me any questions. So the card everybody really wants is called the Mind Stone. And this is the ultimate chase card for the set itself. And here's my take. On day one, everyone's going to rush and overpay for this. The actual set, because there's going to be scalpers, blah, blah, blah. But people are going to open up these packs for sure to find these top chase cards. Parallel Lives, the Mind Stone. What you want to do is you want to buy this after around a week. Let the dust settle because it's going to be high in the beginning. Then people are going to start selling this raw if it's ungradable. Like if it's not a 10, you're going to see a lot of these on eBay. And that's when you pick it up because these chase cards are the ones who increase in price over time. And also, you can potentially buy it in a week and sell it in a week also. So you buy to resell. And these top 7 cards are going to be what people are chasing to play with and also to collect. So you can make some, not big money, but if you buy a few of these, you can make, 10, 20 bucks. That's after shipping fees through eBay or just selling it directly to somebody. And that's just money, extra money there's not everybody who can invest thousands into crypto and thousands into SpaceX. If you got 10 or 20 bucks to invest, then this is probably a good little hustle for you to make another 30, 40, 50 bucks on the side. And I don't see anything wrong with that. If you can afford, obviously, the booster boxes, then you get those. If you can afford the cases, which is like 12 booster boxes usually, then even better. But this is my recommendation, is if you can find the stone, then if you can find the Mind Stone, or if you want to be really risky and go buy the packs and then and then open it up. So this is why I say buy it raw, wait for it to dip 2 to 4 weeks after the release, and then buy it. And don't chase day one prices. So 2 to 4 weeks, it's gonna dip. You buy it raw, and then it will eventually go up gradually, basically. So that's it for this week. There's obviously a lot going on. I hope I've given you good stock picks. Our crypto picks are obviously much harder to do, but I think the stock market is a little bit easier. I just hope this war ends and all this strategy around the world ends. Let me know what you think about our top picks and what we do every week. And I'll be happy to answer any questions. We are live on Binance Square, but we're also on YouTube. We're on Instagram. And we're on X, where I post the shorts from these videos if you don't have time to watch them in full. But otherwise, guys, look, it's been a pleasure as always. I want to send my love to all of you. And we're going to see you next week. And we're going to talk about the picks of this week and give you another 4 or more picks also for you to invest and make more money. But that's it for today, guys. All the best. Bye bye.